Hello, everyone. Welcome to Across the Bifrost. This is the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode, we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. On today's episode, I am joined by the entire roster of the Warriors 3. I myself, Volstagg, am here. Ryan Doze. Our Fandral, Faz, is here.
Ooh, I love it.
And that makes Will Hogan.
Cool. I'll take it. That's fun.
I'm Zach Levi. That's great.
Ooh, or Josh Dallas, whichever you prefer.
It's both. Depends on the mood I'm in, I guess.
So, everybody, today we are here to do something that we've been talking about for quite a few weeks. We are going to be doing a live, at least live for us three right here. We're going to be doing a commentary over Thor: The Dark World. Guys, are we ready for Thor: The Dark World? Like, let's maybe remind listeners, like, when was the last time we watched it, or how many times have we seen it? Because we're all coming at it from various different experience levels, I guess. Will, why don't you tell them what your experience level with Dark World is?
Yeah, I saw this movie in the theater in 2013. It was a different world then. It was before TikTok. It was before Trump. The world was not a dark world. It was a brighter world. It's before pandemics. And
Malekith
so,
won.
And so Malekith won.
We're living in the darkest timeline.
There's a different time and place, a different world in 2013. And I saw it in the theater, and I haven't seen it since. And I know its reputation. It's not that I have like deep hatred to this movie, or like it's just
like how you love dogs, eh?
Right. So it's like, oh my gosh, there it was out of the gate. Drinking game. How many times will Fast make a hating dog thing? I'm taking a sip of my beer right now.
Dr. Pepper never tastes so good.
All right, I'm gonna be passed out in 30 minutes into this thing. But they So yeah, like, and it's this movie that's at the tail end of all Marvel movies. When people start, crapping all over and shitting all over Marvel movies, that's the one that kind of has the end of the list, So I love it that this is, happy birthday, Ryan. Happy birthday to you.
This was a weird birthday gift.
It's a weird birthday gift. We're having a party here online, and
you specifically requested it.
I did specifically request Dark World. Well, because I don't know, like, okay, I'll just tell you guys what my experience level with Dark World is. When this movie came out, I didn't know who Malekith was yet. I didn't know who the Dark Elves were yet. I hadn't read comics like I have now. I loved this movie. It was one of those, like, you're so young and you're caught up in, you're caught up in the things you don't know a lot about, and you're like, this is perfect. It's awesome. I loved all the fantasy elements of it, all the things from the first Thor movie I loved in this movie too. So I saw it obviously when it came out. I watch it probably at least once a year along with the other Thor movies, and I most recently watched it 3 days ago, folding towels on my couch, because I got so bored that I was like, you know what, we're gonna watch Dark World in a few days. I'm gonna refamiliarize myself. And then Faz took me to task for it. He was not pleased that I watched it
just
3 days before we
were
cheating. Look, so listeners, I'm the only normal one in this group. I'm not like Will, only seeing it once. I'm not like Ryan pre-gaming, watching it 3 days before. I watch it. I watch it every so often. I watched it in theaters in 2013 at the ripe old age of 18 years old.
Oh my
and like Ryan, had no experience with Thor comics, because as longtime listeners will know, comics for me are like a 2 or 3 year thing now. So obviously no comics back then.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the movie, kind of forgot about it forever. Always had it at the bottom of my tier list because of what the internet tells me all the time. Rewatched it for Infinity War and realized this movie's really freaking good. This is a lot better than people think. Oh my God. Like, maybe it's because I'm a Thor stan, but wow, it's a good movie. I watch it like Ryan maybe once a year. I watched it to get prepped for Endgame. I watched it to get prepped for Love and Thunder, before Loki, stuff like that. And the last time I watched it was probably 6 months to a year ago. So like a good MCU stan, part of my rewatches, it's there. And it's obviously saw it in theaters. So the rest of you, I don't know what you're doing, but it's okay.
It's okay. Thank you for that
okay.
permission.
Yes.
That okay.
At the end of the day, it will be okay.
Hey, as long as you watch Dark World more than once, you're a winner. So Will, after today, you will be you'll be a winner like Ryan and I.
Right.
redemption's
Well,
sweet.
this was all an intervention for you.
I know. I feel like I'm an intervention right now. I really do. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it
I'm
was
glad
it
you
was
brought
all
me
planned
here.
for sure. Yeah.
It's gonna take me a
So-
while to get to acceptance, but we'll get there.
Okay, everybody. Here's how this is gonna work. This is real simple. Imagine this like myself, Will, and Faz, we're all just sitting around the living room, and we're like, hey, you know what? Let's watch a movie. Let's watch just a random MCU movie. Hey, we should watch Dark World. And you plop down on the couch next to one of us, and you're just like, okay, let's go. So in a few seconds, we're gonna press play on our Disney Plus apps, where all around the Western Hemisphere here, and we are going to start watching, and we're just gonna kind of talk and share our thoughts about the movie. We're going to share some little tidbits of trivia and things like that. But grab a drink, grab something to snack on, maybe put on Thor: The Dark World if you can, if you're not driving around.
And listeners, we cannot stress this enough. You're going to hate this commentary if you don't play Thor: The Dark World during it. You're just going to be like, what
Or
are these guys
if you
talking
hit
about?
play and watch it, we're gonna be that annoying friend in the movie theater keeps talking like, shut up, shut the hell up, you annoying.
That is
freaks.
Will. That's perfect. Imagine this: we're your annoying friends in the theater that won't
Talking
shut
the
up
whole
about
time.
this movie.
Yeah.
So
ideally, listeners, there's not going to be many breaks, but who knows? Something epic might happen, and we might be silent for 2 minutes.
we
You
might
guys
be
will be like,
stunned
"What
into
is
silence.
this? Is this even a podcast?" No, it's a watch along. Listen to it.
So everybody, here we go. Guys, you ready?
Think
Okay.
so.
I'm going to count us down from, let's say 5. And then on
And
one,
are we going on go on one?
we're-
Okay.
you know what? Let's go on go. Let's go on go. Okay.
From 0
Five.
0 0 from 0 0 0, or like right through it says like the page turns, or I get 5 seconds.
Well, how much mead have you drank in preparation for this?
I've been drinking an IPA called
Oh my gosh.
All You
We're never going to
Found
start this movie.
at the
This is
Apex
this is
of
already the worst New Year's party ever. Okay,
All right.
we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And the little blue swirly thing. Okay.
So many comic pages. Wow.
Oh, I know that issue. Issue 134 is when immediately Thor had the first appearance of. No, I'm just kidding.
Remember when the Marvel logo was just comic book panels?
That's right. That's
Like
right. It
that's-
didn't have the whole team. It didn't have the whole team. This is phase 2 in the Marvel MCU. So we haven't even gotten to a lot of it.
Phase 2, when we didn't know what was happening. It's like, hey, they're gonna do stuff with Infinity Stones.
No, even
Okay.
then we
Your
didn't
voice.
even know it, right? Because the Aether was just the Aether.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, Anthony Hopkins's sultry voice.
I
Oh.
do miss this about Thor movies. The initial kind of setting the pace with the Norse really cool ancient-y
Yeah.
vibe at the beginning.
Yeah.
I do really love how Ragnarok and Love and Thunder started, but it is cool to have Hopkins tell a story from thousands of years ago.
Yeah. Norse mythology. That's where it's all based.
The guy has amazing narrator voice.
Yeah.
Amazing. When he's not too busy eating people or, saying Clarice to people.
This scene too, like the Asgardian armor is so cool. The dark elves look fantastic.
Yeah. Part of me was like, is that the Court of Owls? Like from the DC universe?
Well, yeah,
It does look like
kind
the
of,
Court of
right? Yeah.
Owls.
Yeah. And they're shooting lasers. Am I in a Star Wars movie? What's going on? I see lasers.
So remember, listeners, one of the things that got me into Thor was the fact that it was, in my mind, it was Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
lasers and spaceships, but also swords and shields and
Yeah.
like I loved it.
Super science that's also magic, and you just kind of roll with both of them.
Right. Like anything is possible because really everything is on the table.
The ether. Oh.
Right. Remember, it's not a stone; it's more of a sludge, right?
Yeah,
That's the way
that's
that Thor
so
describes
much cooler.
it. Yeah.
The Infinity Sludge.
This was the point where they had to retcon it in after they'd already filmed 3/4 of the movie, and they were like, "Well, shit, Kevin, can we add a scene where we're opening a book? Explain that it's a stone that looks like a sludge, and we're good."
Right. That I will say this opening, like you were talking about the Asgardian armor. I love the look of the Einherjar in this movie.
Mhm.
Like the soldiers. I mean, it gave me that like regal Asgardian vibe that like we didn't really get to see them fight in the first movie. They just like guarded a bunch of stuff poorly because the frost giants kill them all. But Malekith goes like super suicidal here, but except not for himself. It's just like he just decides everybody else has got to die.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up, eh? He's like all
Super
dark elves
messed
except
up.
myself and my friend Alvin's, I think what Will calls him.
Alvin.
Alvin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alvin
Why
and the
not?
rest
Why
of the
not?
monks.
It's Alvin.
Also, side note, Bor looks fantastic as like the precursor to Odin, like the way that his armor is very similar in the same vein but different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this line. His voice is so like,
Yeah.
ugh.
And this
like
in like Norse mythology, this is like predates. Like this is like a prequel leading up to what's going to happen way back when. Is that what just happened? This pre-scene?
I mean, Bor exists before Odin. The rest of
Right.
this is all
Mhm.
Marvel stuff.
I'm pretty sure this is a 1-for-1 remake of Norse mythology. And listeners, you can come at me on Instagram to give me that engagement and tell me that I'm wrong on that post.
Right. There's like
This
word
was
for
also a
word.
bait and switch for you to give Faz more engagement.
Now, this one, listeners, you're going to notice it's a lot about costumes for me. This is probably the best Loki costume in the entire MCU.
It's pretty good.
It's so detailed. You should all check out Silhouette Cosplay and her absolutely incredible version of this Loki. So good. So good.
Oh my gosh.
The chain on his neck, you know, he's just such a Loki.
Tom Hiddleston's voice, like he's just so slimy and creepy.
Yeah, smarmy.
Also, can we all agree this is really Rene Russo's movie?
Oh, for sure.
The first
She's
half of this
fantastic.
movie is Rene Russo's movie.
She's arguably the best Russo associated with Marvel, and that's saying a lot.
Oh man. Remember when she was
Faz
in
came
Lethal
in on
Weapon? That was
fire
good
tonight,
time.
everybody.
Lethal Weapon. Remember she was that movie? That was good. She was good.
Give me a third of her records read, and I'm all wound up, right?
I'm all wound up. We're all almost at the end of a work week, so we've got to get all this like pent up Marvel-y energy out.
That's right.
Oh, one of Anthony Hopkins' best lines.
Your birthright was to die. So good.
Was to die.
As a child. As a child. Like he doesn't, your birthright isn't to die, but as a child, like
that line right there to Loki might be the most comic book Odin that Odin is in this entire franchise, because he's just unabashedly a dick to him.
Yeah, he's just a piece of garbage, right? And he's like, they really calm him down in most of the MCU, but here he's just like unnecessarily cruel. So
we wonder why he's a villain. We wonder why he's a trickster god. Like Frigga's the only reason you're alive. You know, it's like, okay, daddy issues or whatever. All right, looking for acceptance, looking for power, looking
mega
for superiority, looking for those things. You all wonder why I'm a villain. Okay, here you go.
Love and Thunder listeners, I know you all think Thor's just dumb now, and he wasn't a meathead before, but Loki just called him a witless oaf, and I think Loki probably knows better than people who don't like Love and Thunder, so there.
Yeah, there you go.
Best character in the MCU is now here, Sif time.
Oh, okay. This fight scene is awesome, because it was like, it's like Conan the Barbarian, like kind of like level, they're like fighting these weird space tribesmen.
With bazookas? Come on.
With bazookas.
Yeah. And they're all getting wrecked until a magic hammer comes flying through. Like, you can't do better than that.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. The armor.
Ever before you see Thor.
That image right there of him catching Mjolnir with the Bifrost behind him. It's like, take my money, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, Faz, tell everybody why you love this suit so much.
It's just the most classic Norse god space Viking look. Like, it's got the leather, it's got all the detailing, it's got the T on his chest that isn't really a T, but it's kind of like very regal and Norse and almost medieval about it. The shiny arms are just fantastic. He's got Mjolnir. The hair is the best it's ever looked. Like there's just
Because
so
it's
many
real.
things. Because it's real. Yeah, he grew it out for this one.
Hemsworth actually grew it out.
His eyebrows aren't blonde, which is a big win for him because they dyed them in the first one, right?
Oh wow.
So we just got to see like Lady Sif and the Warriors 3 all fight, which we really didn't get to see a lot of them fighting like different kinds of other. But we got to see them fight the Destroyer and the Frost Giants. We actually get to see them go mano a mano with people that are their size in this one.
Use their special moves and stuff.
Right.
Here comes Korg's uncle coming to fight Thor.
Okay. Is that canon?
I mean, the uncle part's not canon. Same type of alien though.
That's
maybe
right. Exactly.
Maybe because one of the first in Journey into Mystery 83, the one of the stone men from Saturn is named Gore.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the original Gore.
It could be the original Gore. That's why Christian
I
Bale was so mad.
I love how he takes the stone man out. He just uppercuts the crap out of him.
For everybody that's sad for the death of the stone man, remember that as long as their mouths are okay, Cronins are still alive. So he's probably still alive in that puddle of rocks. Yeah. Thank you, Taika, for the canon.
There you go.
Zachary Levi with a great line. He's just like, maybe next time we start with the big one. Hogan gets a really cool.
So Shazam is in this movie? I didn't tell.
Yeah.
I forgot. Shazam's
he's Fandral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Faz, do you remember why Josh Dallas? Because I know. Okay, what's the thing with Fandral? Zachary Levi was supposed to do it, and then he couldn't. So Josh Dallas was it in the first movie?
I think when he got he was supposed to do it in 1, but he ran out of time for whatever reason. He had a different thing coming up, so they had someone else do it. Then he did it in 2, and he was going to do it in 3 and forward, but then he got Shazam, and it was a matter of needing to like find somewhere else to put him. And then obviously he's not really around. Like, is it him in Ragnarok, or is it the original actor who gets brutally murdered by Hela? Spoilers for 2017.
That's the name of your podcast.
It was because of Chuck. It was because of the show Chuck that he couldn't do.
Yeah,
the first one. One thing about the soundtrack to this film, Brian Tyler, who did the music, he has one of the greatest hooks in the MCU. Like that very like regal, like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
I've had it stuck in my head all week.
Oh yeah.
I think the soundtrack to this movie is severely slept on.
This is also the best Asgard ever looks in the MCU. In Thor 1, it's a beautiful golden city. In Thor 3, it's supposed to be shown as it's not all special. It's more like a shitty fake place.
Right.
Here, it's the most lived-in, grimy, real version of it. And that's what they were looking for. They wanted to establish it as a place that exists instead of some magical space world or some fraud like they do later. This movie, if not for all the behind-the-scenes turmoil, would have had at least another half an hour more of stuff happening in Asgard, so people could see what it was like.
I agree wholeheartedly with the setting and the aesthetic. Like the setting and the aesthetic in this movie, and a lot in the first one as well. It just nails like the Asgard that I'm used to. And
when really, you say that, Ryan, like used to from like comics?
I think used to, from comics, because like around this time, Matt Fraction was writing Thor and Olivier Coipel was drawing Thor. So like there's certain parts of this Asgard in the movie, and the armor and just the vibe of it, that it lands for me, because it's those fantasy elements, it's got those space sci-fi elements, and it just melds perfectly.
You guys saw him with his shirt off. That was me as a stunt double. They brought me in.
Right.
I actually can confirm that. I read that in the art of the movie that Will Rose was flown in specifically for that. Hemsworth wasn't big enough. Yeah.
Those are stunt abs.
And then they had to like CGI because I had an 8-pack, not a 6-pack. So
that's right. They had to shrink you a little bit. That's true. Yeah.
Good grief, you guys.
Drinking game. Good grief. Whenever Ryan says good grief to a Will Rose comment.
That,
Drink
you
your
know
beer.
what?
Cheers,
That
cheers,
would be a
everybody.
pretty effective drinking game.
Now here's a great scene where you really get the feel for how Thor and Sif could have been together in the MCU, and I would
Yeah.
have loved to see that relationship explored a bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of Jamie Alexander. Maybe it's because of Thor and Sif. Who knows? Could be anything.
But they have a need. Are they
Ryan, you have a
drinking
wife.
mead?
Don't make those noises.
No. I'm thinking, you know, if I had known back then that this was going to be Natalie Portman's last movie for 10 years, would I have just been like full send, go the Thor and Sif route? Because Thor and Sif, they've actually been like a couple in a relationship longer than Thor ever was with Jane.
Yeah.
Like in terms of comics, like, and Sif just, I don't know. The only problem that Sif ever did, or the only thing wrong with Sif was that she wasn't Jane.
Yeah. And it's like Odin says, like, objectively speaking, she's a much better fit for Thor.
Right.
Like all of his concerns with Jane, like not being able to see her live longer than 80 years, which is like a blink for him. Like Sif doesn't have that problem because she's also Asgardian, right? It's just not the true love, which is great. Like I like how they did that in the MCU, but there was a 10-year period in the middle when it could have just been
We got nothing.
like, yeah, should we have done it this way? Because now we've burned Sif and we don't even have Jane for a bit there, right? It took Taika really making the pitch to get Portman to come back and really close the loop on an awesome story.
Speaking of Jane Foster and Natalie Portman, and also just Chris O'Dowd randomly. I love that Chris O'Dowd is brought in to be this guy on a date, and then really nothing else.
Hey, he's a phone call later in the movie.
He is a phone call later in the movie. That's true.
He serves a very
Spoilers. I didn't
important
know that. I
plot
haven't seen
point.
this in 10 years, guys. Come on. I didn't know it was talking.
It's true. It is
Golly.
spoilers for Will. I didn't even think about that. Sorry.
Then,
Because real MCU fans have seen it since then.
oh man, Fast came in with all the fire tonight.
Yeah,
Look, comics, I'm very clearly number 3 in terms of experience here, but for movies, I'm probably number 1. So I have to flex a bit to make up for how
you
behind
gotta flex where you need to flex there.
Yeah,
So much energy.
I'm good.
Well, one of my favorite original MCU characters that's not in a comic book is Darcy Lewis, played by the amazing Kat Dennings.
Absolutely.
Who was at the peak of her power at this point with Two Broke Girls. I mean,
just the cast for these stories.
She's such a good cast for this role.
Oh, the cast is so good.
Just a list of people that make their faces visible in this movie is pretty freaking amazing. I don't know what the budget was. Maybe Faz, you know the budget for this?
It was a lower budget, like maybe $150 million. Sounds like a lot, but for the MCU, you know, not something that's like.
And worldwide, it made 644. Is that it?
It did quite well, especially given it was not well received critically, right? Like people didn't, if people liked it but didn't love it back then, an MCU movie wasn't a sure thing at all, right? I'm convinced that Kat Dennings' script pages just said "be Kat Dennings" in the same way that the Grandmasters ones were just Goldblum it up. Like that has to be how she was written.
Oh yeah,
that's so funny.
I know what you mean.
Be Kat Dennings. You know, it's crazy. The only other phase 2 movie, the only phase 2 movie that earned less money than this was Ant-Man.
Really?
And Ant-Man was coming off of the high of Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
That's weird to me. I mean,
it's Iron Man worse than that, because
Iron Man 3 is a terrible movie, and it made made tons. It made double this movie. And I'm sorry, Iron Man 3 is not great.
Iron Man 3 is a fabulous movie. It's a bad MCU movie. I think that Shane Black made a great Shane Black movie. It's just not a.
Hey,
well, I mean,
it's Luthor from Andor. It's Luthor. He's naked.
We have a naked man on screen, so we're distracted.
I have not even started Andor yet, William.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Just for Dr. Eric, you need to watch Andor.
it is weird watching Stellan Skarsgård just run around Stonehenge butt naked. You're just like, that is a classy actor right there.
You know, again, because of how young I was, my first experiences with him were these two Thor movies, so it was not weird. I was like, oh, okay, this is the kind of actor he is.
You were like,
Great.
this is what Stellan Skarsgård is.
Yeah, this is what he does. Yeah, I didn't even realize that they put like this is the equivalent of like Anthony Hopkins doing silly stuff like this.
Okay, so we're at one of my like favorite like weird scenes that like in regular life, this scene is weird for another reason outside of the ether having this like levitating power. 3 adult people walk into an abandoned warehouse, meet 3 children, and they're like, hey, can we hang out with you guys? And the kids are like, sure, why not? Like, if I knew my kids were hanging out with...
First, they check to make sure that the police, though, because they know that as long as they're not cops, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Are you guys cops? Oh, thank God.
Let me show you all my drugs. That's how it goes. Yeah.
It's such a weird, like if you cut it out of context, actually, you know what? In context, it's still weird.
This is such a cool scene for Will, who hasn't seen it in 15 years.
That's right. It came out before it came out, and
yeah, exactly. 5 years before it came out. Yeah.
Such a weird scene.
Yeah,
so cool.
Yeah, I'm like Jane. I'm kind of like, mouth open because I've forgotten this scene.
Darcy hits the nail on the head. That doesn't seem right.
Accurate. She's not wrong. You can't really critique it too much.
So speaking of like critiquing and like finding little issues with, I mean, really every movie has its flaws, even the best movies that have ever been, and phase 2 had a lot of really good movies. Mm-hmm. So it's like if you stack Dark World up against all the other phase 2 movies, yeah, I get it. Like I get being a little harsh to this movie. Mm-hmm. I still think Iron Man 3 sucks, but like Winter Soldier, amazing.
Yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy, amazing. Age of Ultron, pretty good movie.
I think Age of Ultron's super underrated, especially in the light of Endgame. It really filled out a lot of stuff, but agreed though that it's not Winter Soldier.
Where did this come out in phase 2? Is this part of like the superhero fatigue? Is it like
it was like the second movie in phase 2?
Yeah,
Ryan?
It comes out after Iron Man 3 and right before Winter Soldier, which it had that like it was the late 2013 release.
Yeah.
So
this is the classic example of people thinking Marvel made a movie just because they have to make a movie for the franchise.
Yeah.
Whereas like Iron Man 3 was capping the franchise, Cap 2 was really blowing open the MCU, Thor 2 was just kind of like, well, we have to do a sequel to Thor, right? It's been 3 or 4 years now, let's do it.
Yeah.
I still think it was very worth making, but that's one of the reasons people didn't like it.
Which is what in game they lean into it, like they troll the trolls by like, we're gonna make Dark World a major part.
Yeah. You guys don't like this movie? Let's spend 15 minutes talking about it.
We're gonna make it a linchpin and a climactic part of like this whole thing we're doing by doing that, and we're gonna make this movie better by lifting it up in Endgame.
So we're at the point where Jane is like gonna discover the ether, and I love that because I've got Boar's words in my mind where he's like, bury it deep where no one will find them except for a girl that like comes through like a little bit of like a bubbly like portal, and then she's like, oh hey, what's this thing, let's touch it. And like I just love how his explanation for it is just like, I don't know, just dig a hole, put it in there.
Yeah, and a bunch of teenagers found it first. Teenagers found it first.
Like classic mid 2000s, early 2010s superhero movie thing where plot contrivances just happen because they need the plot to happen. Like hidden this somewhere in the universe, just happens that a gravity field pulls Jane there. Just roll with it because it'll make the story better long term, right? Right. This is the kind of thing that like if they did it in Thor 4, then Taika would be set on fire even more than he already was. But back then, like really not that unreasonable. Shit happens in the MCU.
Yeah, it's weird how like, and there's gonna be some person that was tricked into listening to this. It's like they're gonna rip Dark World to pieces. But like really, it's just funny how like a bad, a quote unquote bad MCU movie is still a pretty serviceable, good movie.
And for Thor fans, it's a top tier MCU movie. Like it does a lot of Thor stuff. Like it gets into lore really nicely. It fills out a lot of comic Thor things you want.
Now, we're awakening Malekith in his like, I don't know, gritty, dark, like Star Trek vibe ship. Like
kind of like Man of Steel. What's his face? Zod ships.
Yeah.
Too, like
Oh
this.
my gosh, he's Zod. That's damn it, Faz.
I'm the best.
Now I gotta find out
Thor's
when Man
Goku
of Steel
and,
came out.
He's Zod, yeah.
It came out the same year. Shit.
So one thing you might not remember, listeners, is for like 5 years, Marvel and DC kept making things that were exactly the same. If Marvel had a Skybeam, DC had a Skybeam. If Marvel had Civil War, DC had Batman versus Superman. If we had Malekith being all dark, they had General Zod. It was always the exact
and that
same.
mirrors the comics, like exactly like, you have Aquaman, we're gonna have Namor. You have this, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, you have Superman,
like,
I have Hyperion. We'll do whatever.
Yeah, they you have a big crossover event, we're going to mirror that. So like they've been doing this for decades before all this in the comics.
Faz's costume corner, Heimdall looks amazing right now.
Oh yeah,
very comic-y.
Idris Elba does no wrong.
I love how he looks.
Just like actor trying to make it in a Thor movie, just trying to be flex, trying to be a good big time actor.
The funny thing about him is like he hated the MCU and he asked to be removed from it because he didn't like the direction of Dark World. And then he saw how popular it got and he started begging to come back in, which I love. Like they purposely killed him off in Infinity War because he asked to be killed. And then he was like, wait, but like everybody loves this stuff now. When's my next movie? And they were like, sir, you're dead.
Like, can you be James Bond one day? Can you be like real? I know you're fighting that one too, but I'd love to see you as 007 as well. So
yeah, I
think that's like the creepy guy in The Office who or the guy who's like the jerk in the TV show The Office too. Like,
he is good there. Yeah,
really good.
That is, yes, is always he's Charles Minor, or as Michael calls him, Sir Charles Minor.
Who Jim
He's
tries
got
to be
range,
friend, but doesn't laugh at his jokes. And
yeah, Jim, really like he also hates Jim. I like what it's just weird. Now it's a weird kind of like 2000s horror movie. Like, I don't know. This reminds me of like the movie Slither.
Yeah. It's the weirdest looking stone I've ever seen. It almost looks like a spilled drink instead.
Right. It looks like Jane is like just covered in Kool-Aid.
I love this point in the MCU because the question after this was, is every Infinity Stone going to present differently? Are we going to have like a gaseous stone? This one's liquid.
Right.
We've got us. And then we get to the end and it's like, no. Yeah. So at this point, they're just like, it could be anything. And then they're like, no, actually, they're all stones, except the one we already said wasn't a stone. Shoot. Sorry.
Shit. Yeah. No, it is great. Like putting yourself back in the mindset of someone watching this movie after like Avengers just happened. Like Iron Man 3 just happened. And you're like, what about those stones that we were all concerned about because they seemed important, and let's see, in phase
what a shot.
What? Oh, the smoke show in the rain kind of thing.
Yeah, look at the cape billowing.
I actually have an interesting fact for this scene.
Ooh.
So Jane goes up to Thor and slaps him in the face. They did that take several times with Natalie Portman kind of pulling her slap, and it looked terribly. Like it didn't translate at all. And Hemsworth just go for it. Just go for it because it's got to look real. And so she laid into the next few apparently.
It's I like this scene a lot because it shows Thor's weather manipulating powers. Most of the time in the MCU, you just see lightning, right? But here he's controlling the rain and he's making it so it doesn't rain around Jane, which is pretty cool.
Well, and Darcy even says, she's like, "Is this you?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's also like Thor still speaks Shakespeareanly a lot in the MCU, but not to the degree he does in this movie. It's a very listening to him speak, he sounds like he's Shakespeare in the Park, just like Tony would say.
Yeah, and it's interesting that what is it, Ragnarok? You have like the Shakespearean play that they play out there,
Right.
and they
Yeah.
take on its own self. And Ragnarok was the tone shift change. They wanted like, all right, Guardians of the Galaxy was great. We want to kind of do that with Thor.
Yeah,
Eventually
yeah.
they come together as the team, and they're all part of each other. But it's definitely like, all right, we want more of a Guardians of the Galaxy tone, soundtrack, not slapstick, but some more humor, that kind of thing. So they're gonna
So
like roll with
we
that.
we talk about humor, Will, but the joke was just Darcy pokes him on the chest and goes, "How's space?" And he goes, "Space is fine." That's it.
Look at you. You're still all muscly and everything. So it's just a funny like little choice in these movies. If the goal of the first two movies was for Thor to feel like a comic book, believe it or not, these movies, the first two movies, feel like a standard Thor comic from the time. From the 2000s, early 2010s. It gives off that vibe and that feel. So people that like get bent out of shape about the next two movies, I get it. I truly do get it. I enjoy those movies, but I get it that like you're like, I thought you were gonna give us the Thor story. This doesn't feel like the Thor stories that I'm used to.
But also though, it's like a 60s, 70s, 80s Thor stories is what you get with the later ones, right? Like it's just wild and psychedelic rather than grounded and dark.
Someone's gonna latch onto that one, Faz.
I'd like them to yell at me again. Hit me up in the comments, everybody. Comment on the Mighty Thor
It's
podcast.
your goal for someone to hate you so much.
Look, I'm
like, he wants the troll business. He wants the troll followers.
I am on the record defending the hell out of Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, and I'll stand by that forever. So if people have to go at me, let's at least get you some followers on the Mighty Thor podcast Instagram if we're gonna do it.
Great. Because the kind of people we want is people that will fight my friends.
I want those hate follows. If you really hate the Fazguardian, what you should do is you should follow Across the Bifrost on Instagram. That'll show me.
And when we're doing a panel at Comic-Con, we're gonna have like, remember the time on episode blah blah blah, blah you said this. You're like what?
Remember when you thought that colors belonged in Thor? They don't belong in Thor. Jack Kirby's dead to me is what they'll yell.
Oh my.
Yeah. And then we'll all be like, bro, man, you've got to calm down.
Gotta calm down.
Look, I get it.
It's all right. So explain this.
I love
to me.
Jason Aaron.
We're going back to God. This kind of like is this science? Is this mysticism? Is this Norse?
Both.
What's going on here with this misty?
So okay, what Will is talking about is the soul forge that they are using to determine what is wrong with Jane. Jane is like, oh, is it this? And she's giving like a very sciencey medical term for it.
An astrophysicist.
Quantum field generator.
Is it a quantum field generator? And the lady doing the examination is like, it's a soul forge. And Odin gets pretty irate that they're even trying to help her, because he's like, they have their healers.
He calls her a goat, not the goat. He calls her a goat, as if she's an animal. Yeah. Who do you think you are? Oh, I'm. Who do you think you are? Oh, okay, sorry.
King of Asgard, Defender of the Nine Realms. Oh,
Odin. You told your dad about me, so cute.
I love it. Look, that's what you took away from that.
Yeah. It's like he just called you a goat, but like he knows
you
exist.
Talking to your family about your girlfriends. It's serious, y'all.
You're like, he knows about me. I will say that we, as the MCU went along, we got better female protagonists. Like Jane and Pepper, like in the first few phases, kind of underserved. Like they're good in that role, but it kind of just sucks that Jane does a lot of talking in this movie. I don't
She's
know.
very much kind of, the movie happens to her, which is what makes Love and Thunder so fun, because she is actively participating.
The movie happens to her. That's good.
at this stage of the MCU, they want to write more things, but they've got those people in the creative committee that are sexist and racist still, and they're trying to get rid of them. Kevin Feige doesn't have full control yet, right? So they're trying to get more diversity and more fairness to the other genders and everything.
And again, that mirrors the comic. Keeps talking about the comics, but again, like 60s, 70s, 80s comics, the damsel in distress, and then all that kind of stuff. And you move into where we are now, and then you have Jane Foster as Thor. You have strong female characters, a diversity of people creating the comics, writing the comics, representation, pretty important, and that shining through. And then of course you have Comicsgate, and you have all the protectors and
oh God,
keepers, that kind of thing. You're like, oh, you ruined my childhood. I'm like, yeah, well, sorry, we need to reframe your childhood of this.
Yeah.
Let's. Oh God,
Thor can't be a girl, says the same people who again follow across the Bifrost. If you're mad at me, those people are the ones.
Send your messages to Ryan Does at yahoo.com.
What are you doing?
If you want his phone number, it's 785-555-5555.
Yeah,
call
sure.
him and tell him what you think. Yeah,
and just give him my address. Why don't you? Good
Ryan Dog Rose at
Dog Rose
at AOL.com. Send those emails.
Wow. I'm so
you can also email Will at Will hates/loves dogs. I don't know how you got the slash in the email, but it's there at yahoo.ca.
Will loves Cosmo dot
yes
snailmail.com. Oh, what just happened? Oh, there's a death. There's a murder.
I think Alvin just got stabbed.
Oh.
Alvin just got stabbed. No, Alvin.
What about the chipmunks?
Alvin.
I love the subtitles for Elvin.
What do you guys think about the use
love Elven language
of a created language like this? I think this was a really cool idea. It didn't play with a lot of people, but I like that it was there.
I'll be honest. Malekith is the big miss of this movie.
Mm. You said it. Send your emails to. No, I'm just kidding.
So that one even I'll agree with, as I'm defending all the stuff all the way through. Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy Christopher Eccleston. It's not him. And I understand. Here's the thing: Man of Steel had just come out. The Dark Elves don't look any different than the Kryptonians in that movie, and they don't. Okay, I'm gonna sound like a real douche here. They don't look any like it. I get no Malekith vibes from this Malekith.
Hey, what about I don't want to spoil for Will. I'll talk about it later.
Okay. Thank you.
I just expect Malekith to be more impish and sadistic and almost like a Joker.
Just like a Joker, or even like a Loki, the way that they play him in Avengers, right?
I expect him to be a more murdery version of Loki, a more unhinged version of Loki.
He's conniving and stabby, is how I would describe it.
But
not stabby like Loki stabby.
Hold on, right? Like, did you want that when you watched this movie, or like after you read War of
After I knew what the character was. That's what I wanted.
Jason Aaron's version of Malekith.
But even Simonson's version of Malekith. I mean, Simonson created Malekith out of whole cloth, and his Malekith is.
What's his first appearance?
344.
Yeah, that's right. I think
you just told me
you looked it up.
No, I read that like the other night off your like Marvel Unlimited app. After you told me that Simonson created him, and I think it's 344.
I bought that first appearance for our Simonson saga next year, and I am wicked excited about it.
Yeah.
We are missing some top-notch Tom Hiddleston here.
And again, the best Russo in the MCU, Rene Russo, killing it here.
I really hope there's someone listening that doesn't get that joke.
I hope that there are people out there that are just so angry with me at this point that we're gonna get so many.
Please don't stop listening, though. It gets so much worse.
Things I'm gonna say.
Are we on Naboo right now?
I said that the other day. I was like, holy Naboo, this looks like a Star Wars movie right now.
Yep. Is Thor gonna say he hates sand? Because I'm ready for it.
Like, I wonder if like Natalie Portman gets PTSD when she's like on a balcony with an attractive guy. She's like, if he talks about sand one more time, like,
oh my gosh.
different
I
franchise.
just
different
love,
movie.
I know Star Wars, but I love the fact that Hayden Christensen is actually a pretty good actor, and he lost like 5 years of his career because of how bad the writing was in the sequel, in the
Man,
prequels.
maybe Jumper would have been a bigger success.
It's just so funny to me that you put him in Obi-Wan, and he's actually really, really good, and that's most people's experience with him post Revenge of the Sith. It's like, wait, what?
Doesn't that just suck too? It's like, hey, this young kid is trying to like make his mark in a big franchise, and it just gets freaking dissected to death.
It's not just a big franchise. He's the titular character basically of Star Wars. Anyway, it's a Thor movie.
It's what happened to Daisy Ridley.
Yep, that's true.
Okay.
Well, looks like Curse is about to do his fun stuff.
So they did something a little different here with how the curse like works, because in Simonson's run of Thor, it's more like Algrim is selected as the curse guy, and here it's more like any of them can become curse. It just kind of like means you're kind of like a suicide bomber in a way.
Yeah, it kind of bothers me because they show like 50 cursed people in the prelude part, and then you think like if Malekith just had a second cursed, this whole thing, like he just wins. So that part is too bad, but I like that he's just so powerful, and I think he's a really cool villain. He's so strong.
What I found cool about watching some of the behind the scenes things here was a lot of this, almost all of this suit is practical. That's nuts to me.
Yeah, Thor 2 is very practical.
They CGI him like in a few different areas, like after the transformation scene, they CGI him. But
wait,
like,
that wasn't practical, Ryan? Are you sure?
Should I go to @FazGuardian and voice my displeasure? But
please do.
I do love the practicality of this suit, and the actor who played Algrim is inside the suit. Who I knew that I'm probably gonna butcher his name, but I knew him from the show Lost. I'm not even gonna attempt it. I'm afraid that I will sound incredibly stupid.
I love Lost so much. That was like
this is a great scene right here.
I loved that show.
Maybe I can remember who he played in Lost.
People who don't remember Dark World, did you note that Loki just told him to go left instead of right? Just mention it. We'll see what happens. William has no idea why. Ryan,
I can't wait to see what happens. Loki.
Oh, great transition here. Yes.
Yep.
Reminds me of the Multiverse of Madness one where Doctor Strange pulls out a handkerchief and it becomes his cape. And jumps off the
cloak of levitation.
Exact same kind of transition. Hey, there's your guy, Ryan.
I love Ray Stevenson as Volstagg.
He was a great Volstagg. Oh, look at how good Mjolnir looks there. Oh man.
Future sells, no further harm will come to you. Give my word. Punches him in the face. Again, there's just moments of this movie where I'm like, yep, it feels like I'm watching a Thor comic.
They also did, because of the behind the scenes turmoil, this movie was originally incredibly serious. There were almost no jokes. And they had their resident funny guy, who shall remain more or less nameless because he's a terrible human being, punch up the script. And for lack of a better phrase, he Whedonized it. And some of the jokes that come in through here are just fantastic. Hate the human being. Really like those sorts of things. No harm will come to you. Okay, I guess you're getting harmed. Bonk in the head, right?
I tried to be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, the Lost character talking about Mr. Echo? Talking about Echo?
Yes. Yeah. So it's the actor who plays Curse and Algrim is the actor who played Mr. Echo in Lost. And I loved Mr. Echo's arc in Lost.
I was the best. And as I'm watching Game of Thrones, he's in Game of Thrones too.
Where is he in Game of Thrones?
Wasn't he a slaver? Like he kidnapped.
No. Oh wait,
Yeah, that was
he
him.
is.
Yep.
Oh, William, you got me.
Because the minute he showed up, and then I was like, there he is, the guy from Lost. I love his arc.
You guys are missing Idris being epic.
We're not missing it, Baz. We're talking over it.
He landed on the Rainbow Bridge. It was so cool.
That is Heimdall's like maybe his most badass moment.
Yeah.
Is except talking shit to Thanos.
And then he flips around and it's like, oh shit, that literally meant nothing. I took out one of their 40,000 ships. Oh god.
Right. Heimdall, like
these kind of space sci-fi ships coming through.
Yeah.
Is pretty rad.
Now you guys would know better than me. Do these ships look like what Dark Elf stuff would look like in the comics, or is it just its own design?
No, not really.
Because they're pretty cool. I like how they like turn to go through cracks and stuff, but I wasn't sure if they were based on anything.
It's very Star Wars Millennium Falcon, like how they fly, because they do those like 0-point turns.
Yeah.
Like, I here's the thing.
What's the point of that like long part? Like if you have to turn, why do you even have that? Let's just have your little pod.
Yeah, I mean honestly,
logistically,
because
that
it
does make
looks
a lot
cool
of sense.
flying wise.
It looks cool. Like, is that a fin? Is that a dorsal fin? What are you doing? Is it for aerodynamics? Like, I don't know.
Maybe it's like,
guys,
you know how like maybe because ships have like a sharp point sometimes, like Viking ships. Maybe it's to cut other ships in the air.
But I may be riding the Millennium Falcon next week in Star Wars land.
All right, Will's going.
By the time our listeners
Galaxy's
listen,
Edge.
I would have done it. So.
I feel like this has been the most unhinged movie commentary, and that we've talked about so many non-movie related.
Here's the thing: we did not promise a ton of quality.
That's true. That's a good point.
We promised a good time
to you. That was it. Yeah.
Oh, that seems cool. You know what that reminds me of? Remember that time? Or
I do like that Algrim's power is that he grabs people by the throat and dehydrates the hell out of them.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the opposite of moisturizer.
Yes,
There's your pull quote for the title of the episode.
The opposite.
In fact, before he destroys the shield, like the shield generator, which see Darth Vader, it's that easy. Like when he destroys the shield generator, I just imagine him saying like, "Algrim hate moisturizer." This fight scene, like just like pan out a little bit. This fight scene is awesome.
Yeah. This Asgard set is practical. Obviously, breaking through all the stuff isn't. A lot of it's CGI, but all of this is a real spot that they filmed in. And that's wild to me.
Question for the rest of the Warriors 3 here. Is this fight scene in Asgard better than the climactic fight scene?
Of this particular movie?
Yeah, of this movie.
I don't know.
Will doesn't remember. I say yes.
I say yes as
well. In
well.
Asgard is better, but I'm not going to say why until Will is. Actually, you know what? No, I disagree. I really like what they do that's different with the final fight, and we can revisit that in about an hour.
Yeah.
Location wise, 100% agreed. It's just the.
I like the aesthetic of this fight so much.
Yeah. It's very Thor comic again. It's a fight on Asgard.
Right. It feels like I'm reading. Oh, the Dark Elves are up to some shit. Oh, the black hole grenades that Will.
This is also cool. About. Like at this point in the MCU, the Asgardian army is essentially invincible. Like they don't lose anybody, even to the Dark Elves. They just buzz them down. And here they are fighting not the Dark Elves, sorry, the ice giants. They buzz them down. They to these Dark Elves, and these Dark Elves are murdering them like it's nothing. Asgardian foot soldiers are nothing.
Those masks are from the comics too. Like even like the like Jason Aaron used that in his run, and War of the Realms. Like those have stuck around a long time. There's a good creepy mask that like good villain masks.
Because I again in one of the behind the scenes things, Alan Taylor, the director, said basically they wanted them to be expressionless and not be able to give any emotion of anything, like they kind of like what we were talking about earlier with the Court of Owls thing. The mask is meant to be like this ominous, unfeeling thing, and I think it really does a good job.
Yeah.
This scene is good with Malekith and Frigga, like Rene Russo's last stand.
Again, peak MCU Russo content. Russo brothers, who? I don't know.
Kevin.
You directed a few movies. Big deal. When the effect they have over his voice kind of annoys me sometimes. Again, a lot of people probably agree with this, that like Malekith is the miss of this movie.
Mhm.
And I think if Malekith is a little more close to his source material, not exactly, because I understand when you make any movie from source material, you have to change things, like, because it's a different medium. But like, if his vibe would have been closer to what maybe is more truer, I guess, I think maybe this movie doesn't get shit on as much as it does.
Well, I
Right.
think like at this point, it wasn't that many comic fans that were watching the movies. Like there were regular people too, right? So I think they just didn't like how generic he was. Like give him some personality, and they're there. He doesn't even need to be the same as in the comic, just different than
You're talking that he felt generic in this movie.
Yeah. He's
Yep.
just like a normal, quiet, or not quiet, but like the same gravelly, angry voiced villain. One thing they did do was they obviously just broke half of his face, like how he looks in the comics, but
Right.
even that's not as cool, right? It's just burned from
Two-Face.
Mjolnir.
He's now Two-Face from the DC.
Yeah, he is now Two-Face. But again, like you'll see it. Well, it doesn't look that Two-Faced. He's just more like burned on one side.
Right.
Basically, what we're getting at is Malekith needed to be Two-Face meets the Joker.
Mhm.
That's what we're trying to say.
Look like Two-Face, act like Joker.
I will say, and I'll put this up on our Instagram for people that want to check it out. I did come across some Thor: The Dark World concept art, like some of the early Andy Park like concept art, that was a Malekith that looked much more distinct.
I have to jump in for 1 sec. This scene right after she's dead, there's a deleted scene, listeners, where Odin and Malekith have about 30 seconds to talk about it, and it is fucking amazing. Odin and Malekith, it's like they look at each other and they have like it's so good. It's like a minute. I think it's Odin and Malekith. Please go look for it, because it is so good and it enhances this movie so much.
Okay.
It was cut because it wasn't like the funny or quippier version. It was a very like serious, dark conversation, but it's so good.
Well, now we move into the funeral, which is kind of dark and meaningful. So you could have had that leads into this, you know?
Right? Yeah. And it's a beautiful scene.
It's like, come on, you got freaking Anthony Hopkins there. Let him act.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, when I watched this the other night, Vaz still looks upon me with disdain for. I did like get goosebumps and a little teary-eyed at this scene, and I don't really know why, because like I knew she was gonna die, but it's like how much she means to Loki, how much she means to Thor, and the way Loki responds to learning that Frigga has died. Oh my gosh. Like, and then when Thor goes to Loki,
best death sounds in all of the MCU here. This the
Oh, nice. It's almost like she becomes one with the stars, like those sparklings went up into the cosmos. She becomes a constellation.
Vibes?
She becomes a constellation.
This sound.
Listeners, I wish I was better at giving you guys video, because Vaz just did the happiest little dance.
I was trying to orchestrate. That's what I was doing. It wasn't a happy dance. It was
I did not get that.
Is Loki reading a book? What's going on?
Yeah.
He's
Does
trying
he know
to.
what's
He doesn't
happened?
know yet.
Oh, gotcha.
So this Einherjar like captain tells him, and then his reaction is, you don't even see his face, but it's so good.
It's excellent. Tom Hiddleston is a national treasure, no matter what nation you're from.
Right, I was gonna say he's a global treasure.
Ah,
And then, but later on though, Thor goes and hangs out with, not hangs out with, Thor goes to Loki to present the plan, and it's peak Hiddleston.
yeah, and like again, we're looking at right now, looking at through the lens of Endgame, where they use this movie, where this moment of her death is a pivotal point for Loki, and
Yeah.
then through we're now like season 1 of the Loki series, where we see him kind of go back not to like Endgame progression evolution, but around this time, this is kind of his character where he still is in the Loki series. So all this comes into play. This is a part of it.
I will say that in Endgame, when they go back to Dark World, I had forgotten a lot of that scene and the power of that scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I loved that. Yeah, like we've been saying, I love that Endgame elevates this movie, especially for Thor and Loki.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just rewatched the first episode of Loki season 1. Whew, the last 10-15 minutes of that episode are kind of gut busting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because really you can translate every Thor movie, maybe with exception of the first one. Like Thor loses literally everyone he's ever loved.
Mm-hmm.
Loses
Mm-hmm.
all of them in one way or another. So it's, no, I like to say that no one in the MCU has lost more than Thor,
Oh, true.
because literally his father, mother, his brother multiple times, his love of his life, and then all of Asgard is destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting to the point where Odin and Thor are going to have a pretty big disagreement on what needs to be done with Malekith, and Thor is trying to be the mature warrior.
Ryan, you're spoiling for William.
Oh, he's watching it. But Thor wants to go, in his mind, he wants to go do the right thing. And Odin is kind of showing his arrogance here.
And it's a role reversal from Thor 1, where Thor is the smart, well-reasoned leader, and Odin is the bloodlusted, angry fighter. At this point, I don't think Odin would be able to lift Mjolnir.
It's a good, I never really thought about that.
The more you think about this movie, the better it gets. That's something that I've thought about a lot as I'm thinking about this movie.
And, I don't know.
As many as are needed.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's good. I will say that this Thor, the Thor in this movie, is probably the Thor that's closest to your standard Thor comic, that you, not only aesthetically, but also the vibe, where he's like, I'm trying to do the right thing. Like, I'm trying to do what's best for my people, trying to do what's best for, whoever's at risk. I'm just trying to do what's right. I'm trying to be worthy.
You can also kind of understand why Hemsworth wanted to reinvent the character at this point, because they essentially kept him the same kind of person for 3 movies in a row, right? Like, everybody's getting major growth, and his big growth, obviously Thor 1, he had a lot of development, but in Age of Ultron and Thor the Dark World, there's a lot of you see how he reacts and how he would do things differently now, but it's all that same change from Thor 1 that's showing him being quote unquote the new Thor.
Yeah.
Doing that for another 4 movies would drive you insane if you've done 7 or 8 of the exact same thing.
And you know what? That is a really good point that I hadn't thought of, that when you play these characters for so long, and maybe it depends on the actor, obviously none of us have ever headlined a multi-million-dollar movie franchise. But if
unless you're a body double like I was, but.
That isn't headline though. That's ablining, right? So
He's
that's different
no
entirely.
one has ab-lined a Marvel franchise, but it's like as a creative, as a creator, as an actor, you're like, yeah, I want to try something different. Like I think sometimes like comic book fans, like we want things to pretty much, we want them to be different, but we also want them to kind of stay the same. And it's really hard when you get to a movie franchise where it's like things have to change or it just gets stale.
Well, and look at the other characters, right? Like Iron Man at this point, you look at him in Iron Man 1 and you look at him in Iron Man 3, and he's a wildly different character. He's still cocky, he's still flirty, but like there's so much more seriousness. He's got PTSD now. He is committed to one woman instead of being a womanizer, right? He's not an alcoholic anymore. There's so many changes. And if Hemsworth at this point in time is thinking like, all right, they're having me be exactly the same Shakespeare in the Park, nothing else. The only character that really works for is Captain America because he's not supposed to change very much.
Yeah, it's built into his character that he's stable and consistent.
And even him, look at how wildly different he is.
Right. Like Winter Soldier was where we probably got the most Steve Rogers growth. Because he's starting to question things that previously he would have questioned, but he didn't really have to yet.
He goes from the world's black and white to, oh my God, the world's gray now, right? And Thor had his big moment, but that was at the beginning of his arc. Like if in the first movie he did all of his change, then you had him in 3 Avengers movies and 4 solo Thor projects, Chris Hemsworth would have gone insane.
Yeah, and I think Winter Soldier is one of the movies that, for me, the reason it's at the top of my list because it changed things up. It wasn't like a world-ending big battle. It was like a subversive spy story where someone was like under the shadow of like manipulation. That's the villain, not necessarily a killer robot or a dark elf or Thanos destroying the world and you're gonna have a big battle at the end. It was more subtle and nuanced. And so that change of pace and storytelling for me was like well received because I was just kind of tired of the big final battle at the end of the movie.
The honest trailer for that movie too says it best. Like one of the first lines in it is like, holy shit, I didn't know Captain America kicked so much ass, right? Like that's where the first movie is a great period piece and it's a really cool kind of look at 1940s and all that kind of stuff. And they do all that really well, but then you just get a badass spy basically in Cap 2, right?
So I totally agree, co-sign everything you guys are saying. This
jump
scene
to the best scene in Dark World.
This scene with Thor and Loki talking has so much freaking power to it because these two actors are finally like coming into their own. And Tom Hiddleston just looks so freaking beat up. And then that line, like, when do we start?
This montage is amazing.
He will betray you. He will try.
So clandestine.
Okay, the greatest cameo in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I think so. Will doesn't remember it.
No, here we go. What are we doing?
William.
Keep watching, Will. Keep watching.
So Loki is going through all these different disguises.
He was just an Asgardian guard. Now he's Loki and Thor is Sif. Great look for Thor.
Brother, you look ravishing.
Here we go.
Perhaps you prefer one of your new companions.
Yeah.
And it's friggin' Chris Evans.
I can feel the righteousness surging. Truth, honor, patriotism. God bless America. A side note, Silhouette Cosplay did a reel of that, and it's amazing. So go find it because it's great.
Well, the common ground that they're doing on is grief of the loss of their mother, and so that's what brings them together, right? So like this whole like phase 4 of the MCU has been all about grief, but here it is. Here they're grieving. What do you do with that grief? What do you do with that energy? Let's team up. Here's the team up we were waiting for.
Now, this whole scene and the rest of the Loki and Thor scenes for the rest of the movie are the things that were fully rewritten because they realized how much everybody loves Thor and Loki together.
Yeah.
At this point, no matter how good Loki was, Marvel still didn't entirely get that the Thor-Loki dynamic is the thing that makes Thor so good.
Right. Right.
And this little back and forth where you betray him, I'll kill you. You betray him, I'll kill you. You betray him, I'll kill you. Back and forth is just, it's so good. Everything about this.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
Big slap.
Oh, another slap. Was that
Yeah.
just as real as the other one? That is right.
Probably was, eh?
Yeah.
This is great too. Yeah, there's just, it's a well-written movie. Like, people give it a lot of flack, but it tells the story it wants to tell. It's just not an Avengers level movie. It's a Thor only story. That's the biggest knock on it, which is a silly thing to be mad about.
Right. But it has a whole cast of characters of Norse mythology and the Asgardian players per se.
And it's got so much character. Like, look at these costumes. Look at the set designs. Look at the Shakespearean drama. Betray him and I'll kill you, says Lady Sif.
Mhm.
Just so good.
Yeah, I think it was the timing, and I think, what is some of the directors said that the poor response. I mean, made a lot of money, but he said a lot of post production pulled it in a direction that he didn't necessarily want. Is that some of the tradition
So
or kind of history behind it?
It's more like they had Patty Jenkins and she was going to do this movie. And she had a very specific direction she wanted, and the Marvel Creative Committee didn't like it, so she left the project. And then someone else came in, and the same thing, they had a direction they didn't really want. And with like less than a year before shooting, Alan Taylor came in and kind of saved this project. It wasn't going to be made if they couldn't find somebody, and he did the best he could to put it all together. And then they kind of found the movie in reshoots, like that, the way that Marvel always does it, where they have that secondary set of shooting where they figure out the scenes they want to improve and make it gel better. That's when they had to put it together, because he didn't have any time in pre-production. Like, the fact he made the movie this good, given that he came in like 6 months before it filmed, is insane.
Right.
Side note for all of you big Thor fans here, he currently doesn't have the arms on, no sleeves, just his arms on his own. I don't know if that's specifically to sell slightly different toys, if that's to make people just like looking at the arms. I don't know.
I like looking at those arms. That's
Because
inspiring.
boy howdy.
This is before they started greasing his arms. Taika did that, and that is considered probably the biggest change to the Thor canon. They look much larger when they're shiny. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Take a look at
That's
Ragnarok.
the biggest change he made.
Well. As
biggest change he made.
As mine do. Shiny arms. Shiny Arms Rose. That was my nickname in middle school.
No, I've heard that. I've heard that name from you.
Yeah.
They called me called him
that whole trope of
slippery
learning how to
limbs.
drive a spaceship you've never driven before. I love that sci-fi trope. I'm just gonna hop in and start driving, and let's see if I can figure this out. I love
His
that.
reasoning too is hilarious. Loki's like, "Don't you think I should be flying this? I actually know what I'm doing." And Thor's like, "Which one of us can actually fly?" As if that somehow makes a difference. I can pilot a ship because Mjolnir lets me fly. Because my hammer pulls me off.
Yeah, yeah. It's like going up to like the pilot of a plane and be like, "Hey, I should fly because I've ridden in a plane
like
before."
This spaceship. Like, that's cool. I forgot about these
Right,
ships. Those
it's
are
cool.
super rad. Like,
it definitely
I
makes
like
no
that.
sense, but it's cool.
Oh,
It's
as a surfer who's like weary of dorsal fins, like I think that's super cool.
Well, it kind of reminds me of like the skiffs from Star Wars and like Jabba's party barge.
Yeah. God, makes no sense. Like, why would you? What's the purpose other than just like
because look how cool it looks
pillars.
spinning? Will, look at how cool it looks when it spins.
Mowing
That's why
down
it
pillars.
exists.
That's what we're going to use it for. We're just going to.
One thing I always think about when watching this is, why didn't they use more Uru in their construction?
It's
Seems
not
weird to
that
me
common.
But like, it could be. They had the elves right there. They could have made it a lot of times, you know?
Faz, dwarves do the smithing in Asgard.
I'm thinking about the dark elves that are currently on screen, Ryan. Give me a break.
Okay, fine.
Here's some Zachary Levi looking fantastic.
Again, I forgot he was in this 100%.
Mhm.
I'm like, dude, Shazam's in this. I love Chuck. I love that shit. I love Shazam. I love him. He's a great follow on Instagram, real positive dude, person of faith. Like he's a good dude. I like him a lot.
I listened to him in a panel in Toronto at Fan Expo, and he was fantastic. Like, he talks about mental health so openly, and he makes a huge difference
Yeah.
in that space. He is a
Yep.
great dude.
Yep,
He-
I agree.
I just saw something on Instagram. That was like he did the same thing. It was, I think it was like on a podcast called like the Man Up podcast or something like that. I don't know what it was, but I was like, dang, like for a guy with this much, kind of name recognition now, to be this open about stuff. They were like, what would
Yeah.
you like to do with your life? You're talking to a guy who's made millions of dollars doing movies. He's like, I'd like to have a family someday.
Yeah.
Like, it's just simple stuff.
Yeah.
Too
Side
bad
note,
he had to
this
make
is-
that shitty Kurt Warner movie.
Yeah, exactly.
God, that movie sucked.
Well,
I doubt he
was-
had to do it.
yeah.
Back on Dark World for a second. Have you guys seen the set photos from filming in Iceland for the Dark World?
Amazing.
It looks so
No.
much better than what they
Oh,
actually did in the movie.
I've been to Iceland. We look at movie sets. My wife and I like to go back and look at like shows that was filmed in Iceland, like Game of Thrones and Rogue One, and like all
and Thor the
things
Dark
like-
World.
now we know Dark World. I'm like, hey, Cindy, guess
Like,
what?
well,
I know
it-
I was gone for 2 hours this evening, but guess what? There's an Iceland reference in our.
It just like, it looks so good with a little more light. Like, I understand it's called the Dark World and they wanted it to be shadowy, but it looks so much better. It still looks dark. It still looks like the Dark World,
Right.
but man, it looks amazing. It's
You
I
guys
get
don't know how cool Iceland is. Like
Look,
it's
three of us will go
Cindy-
there right after this. Okay, I'll get in my car. We'll
on
drive
location,
Yep.
panel and podcast recording in Iceland. We'll do that at some point. Life goals, but Cindy will pull up like just a live like webcam of a certain location in Iceland. Just leave it on for the day.
Cool.
There are
Versus-
some times in this movie, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but there are times where the affect that Hemsworth puts on his voice, it almost feels like he's like kind of holding his teeth shut,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or it sounds like he's holding his teeth shut. So I'm like, I don't know if this is the best voice that Hemsworth had for Thor,
Mhm.
but it was definitely the best look he had for Thor.
He made a comment recently that each successive movie Thor gets more Australian as he
That
gets
is
like
so
as
true.
it becomes more him. And it's interesting that like it honestly gets better the closer it is to his real voice because he's so much more comfortable speaking, like saying these Shakespearean lines with his accent that's somewhere between his Australian voice and his British one really goes well together. Because Asgardian doesn't have to be Shakespearean British; it can be whatever.
Mhm.
Mm. That is true because, obviously when Stan Lee leaned into that Shakespearean kind of vibe, no one was hearing a voice when they were
Mhm.
reading it. I'm sure we all make up kind of the voice we hear when we read comics, but they could have done a lot of things with his voice. Now, question for you guys. Would you have, we've all gotten used to Hemsworth in the role, but say Chris Hemsworth doesn't exist. Would a British actor have made more sense?
Mm.
I think yes and no. Yes, in the sense that at this stage, everybody knows that space or fancy is British sounding. But like as Love and Thunder showed us, like Russell Crowe did a Greek Italian accent because Zeus is a Greek Italian god, right?
And it was so spot on.
I really liked how fun it was, but like you don't need to go just like it's serious, so we're very strong in British. Or you don't need that anymore. They could have done Asgard where each person spoke with a different accent, just because it's space and it's Asgard, right? So Thor doesn't really need to have any sound. Thor 5 guys, he's going to speak with a Canadian accent. He'd be like, "Oh, hello there. How's it going, eh?"
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Um,
bonjour.
the-
Yes.
Yes.
the,
Oh my God. set the internet on fire and make Thor a French Canadian god of thunder.
Let's do
That
it.
would be hilarious.
Uh,
I'm from Quebec.
This is when we start getting some really cool. This is that new thing I was talking about, listeners. The way that they manipulate gravity and have people go through portals and stuff.
Portal
It's
jumping.
really a cool idea that at this point all the fight scenes in the MCU are kind of blending together, and it's something that, like, look at this. They're getting attacked by birds, right? Like they
Right.
It's really a cool way to differentiate this movie to the others. They obviously get even more wild when Guardians happens.
yeah.
But at this point, they're still, we need grounded realism where fans aren't going to buy the comicness. It hasn't been proof of concepted by Guardians yet.
It's, Faz, I 100% agree with that, because it's like they played with the comic bookiness of this, that like, hey, what if this fight, or what if, the culmination of this movie, what if it didn't just take place on Midgard? What if it's taking place during the convergence, when it's like happening at all the different realms?
Yeah, and that's so Thor comic-y, except in the comics it's usually time frames, right? Like the fight will be happening in 3 different spaces in time.
Yeah, or they'll be they'll kind of fudge with the time stream. Like that's a big thing. Like when anybody kind of faces off against Kang the Conqueror, you're gonna have to fight him in a few different time periods.
Kang Dynasty is probably gonna have like 6 or 7 different time periods where the Avengers are fighting him, right? It's gonna be sick. Anyway, this Dark World scene. They're in the Dark World, which would look cooler if it was lighter. I'm already on the record about that, but still a very cool scene coming up. Will doesn't know what's going to happen, as far as he knows.
So Jane Foster, let's catch up. Jane Foster's like a Horcrux for this, like
she's 1,000% a Horcrux.
A Horcrux for this.
She's not a Horcrux. She's like the Aether's. She's the Aether's jar. That's all. She's like the orb that the.
But that's why he wants her, because he's looking for this Infinity Stone, and inside
she's the Tesseract. That's a better way to do it. She's not a Horcrux. That's gross. She's a Tesseract. She's beautiful.
I'm bridging all the fandoms, especially Kim.
Oh, Thor just got stabbed. Man, who could have predicted Loki betraying him?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Now everybody's going after him, because everybody said if you betray him, then.
Now there's a scene coming up that pisses off Thor comic readers to no end for a very silly reason. And once it happens, I'll tell you guys why, because it makes me laugh every time I see the comment.
Thor is a Skywalker.
They're in a world that's dark
because he got his arm cut off.
They're in a world that's really dark right now. Is that what's going on? Right.
They are in a dark world. Yeah. Now the reason that they're pissed though is because obviously he's lost his hand. He's going to get a destroyer arm now. All right. We'll find out why that doesn't happen in a little bit.
God, that'd be so cool. I will say, the Faz has said multiple times that the aesthetic of this one is, it's almost too dark.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like visually, nothing really stands out because it's all just
it's like the same problem I have with the final battle of Endgame. It's just so black and smoky in the background that the background itself doesn't do it any favors. That one, it's kind of necessary because there's 6 billion characters and you have to see what they're doing. So if the background is too crazy, it'll distract from it. But there's like 6 people here. Like there's some nondescript dark elves: Thor, Loki, Jane, Malekith, and Alvin the Chipmunk. That's it. That's all who's here.
Malekith's voice, you're right. Like more to listen to this on the movie is like it's not that great.
It works a lot better when he's speaking his own language than when he speaks English.
Yep. Oh, am I watching Stranger Things? What's happening?
It does feel very Stranger Things, kind of like, or like it's a Carl Sagan like like journey into the unknown.
Neil deGrasse Tyson explaining how wormholes work or something.
Oh, come on. Will, I threw in a Carl Sagan reference just for you.
I love it. Carl Sagan.
What a twist. He didn't actually lose his arm. Oh my God.
What?
And that's why they're mad, because they think he should have fully lost his arm and got to have a destroyer arm. And that makes me laugh because sure, that would be cool, but it's not necessary.
Right. We gotta wait until Jason Aaron's run for that.
They broke the Aether. We win. The movie's over, guys.
We won.
Now there's just 38 minutes of shawarma.
Oh my gosh, 38 minutes of shawarma.
That's the name of this podcast. Please, 38 minutes of
38 minutes
shawarma
of
is the
shawarma.
name of this freaking podcast.
Maybe
That
I should
people
have
be like,
eaten during
what?
the
I gotta
pod.
listen to that. 38 minutes of shawarma. That's the name of my high school heavy metal band.
Now this is the only time it kind of looks like stones at this point. When it's like crystallized, you can see it look like stones there. And then it goes back
Right.
into a liquid with this really weird power up.
So while Malekith is, I just love how casually Algrim's like just tossing grenades at things. It's just like, click, whatever.
It's like, I don't need to deal with this. I'm a curse. There's only like one of me left. I'm all good. Yeah.
He kind of
Go get him, Alvin. Go get him, Alvin.
Go get him, Alvin. He kind of reminds me of
Loki.
Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon, where he's like, I'm getting too over this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a nice little moment there where Thor saves Loki. Loki truly
Right.
thinks he's dying, saved by his brother. He knows that they're like truly together now.
Gosh, it's just so dark.
Yeah. Like, I think about
Yeah.
how much cooler this would look if it was like 3 or 4 shades brighter.
Is this Iceland where they are now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, imagine setting the brightness to like 4 instead of 1 right now. Doesn't have to be bright, but just a
Right,
little.
right. It's like I can just hear someone listening right now, like, guys, the movie's literally called The Dark World.
Yeah, like we aren't saying we want like Ragnarok or Love and Thunder brightness. That's a different style.
We don't
Yeah,
need to
it
mess
is-
with the
it is amazing.
saturation and the contrast.
It is
But it's-
amazing where they went after this movie. Like, well, that didn't work that great. Made a lot of money, but people didn't like it. So we're gonna go the opposite direction, be super bright and a lot of rainbows and
That's why you see the meme, right? And it's like 2 houses beside each other that are like very horror movie houses, and then
Right,
2 that are like My Little Pony houses, and it's like Thor 1, Thor 2, Ragnarok, and Love and Thunder. Yeah. This scene is sick. This is why I love Curse. This is why he was higher on my list than yours.
Right,
He
right.
knocks Mjolnir away.
That is a pretty big feat.
Right? That's why I was
Yeah,
like, you
that's-
guys are sleeping on this guy.
okay.
I get he doesn't say words, and I
Hey,
get that
when I made
he's-
my list, I hadn't seen this in 10 years. I didn't know that happened. I put him at the end.
I tried to explain it, but it just went right over your head because you hadn't seen the movie. Well,
He swiped Milner.
it's okay. The listeners already dropped him anyway, so it's fine. I was never going to win with my number 7 or whatever I called him.
Alvin.
This is a nice little
And-
return, Thor saves Loki, Loki saves Thor, and then Thor gets brutally murdered. It's a circle of life. Or Loki gets brutally murdered.
Yep.
No. How many times have Loki been killed? Come on.
At this point, 2.
Okay.
That is a great line where Loki's just like, see you in hell, monster. And then
Mm-hmm.
he clicks the like grenade, on which the grenade does something completely different than it has been doing the whole movie.
No. It's the same. It's just he's so powerful, it takes it way longer to absorb him. That's what's going on there.
Oh.
He's still
Different
going in the
color,
black hole.
Different
yeah.
color, but I guess in the dark world, so it's got not a black hole, but
Well,
it's like
the color though is like him, like how he's like that fiery Sinji
Oh,
stuff. Like
yeah,
that's
that's
what
true,
it
that's
is.
true.
It's- yeah.
Mm,
See, the more you
But what
think
he's
about the
done to
movie, the better
others.
it gets. I'm telling you.
what he's done to others. He reaps what he sows. Look at that. I'm
Yeah.
putting some
Yeah.
scripture up in here.
How did you turn this into a sermon, Will? How did you turn Thor: The Dark World into a sermon?
Oh.
Come gather Christmas Eve. I'm going to talk about Thor: The Dark World. People are like, what?
Because
We're
in the
putting him
darkest
on
day- yeah.
a mental health leave.
I know,
Oh, no,
baby
Loki's
Jesus
dying,
born in a
guys.
manger, but I'm going to talk.
You're the death music's back. It's the best death music in the MCU.
Ah, Thor. Loki. Grief. It's hard. Oh, don't worry, Thor. You'll see him die a few more times. And you're
I think he only sees him die like one more time.
yeah.
It's the most gruesome, and it's directly on camera, and it scares people probably. And you bring your kids to Infinity War, and it starts with crack.
Boom. Think that's Iceland, but it's really dark. Maybe
No,
it's
no,
not in
it is,
summer,
yeah.
but it's in the winter when you only have like 3 hours of sunlight.
It's the set photos are incredible. Like, it looks so cool. This still looks very cool, in fairness. It just, it could be better is all.
talking about look and aesthetic and vibe. I think it's kind of interesting to know that Alan Taylor was not originally the one that was confirmed to direct this movie. Kenneth Branagh didn't want to do it, which, you know, I've heard that Kenneth Branagh had a really good relationship with Hiddleston and Hemsworth, like as young actors, because I mean, it's Kenneth Branagh. Like what?
He's the thing that made them as good as they were.
Like, I mean, he was from what I've heard, and you know, it kind of shows in the movie. He was an actor's director, and then, you know, in this next movie, they had a few different names floating around, but originally, Patty Jenkins was going to direct this.
Ryan, Will and I spoke about this when you disappeared for a second.
I couldn't like, I forgot that completely, and I was like, dang.
The actor back you're talking about. The comic relief in the midst of
here he is.
Chris O'Dowd.
It's not just the comic relief, Will. This is extremely important. This is how they can get back to Earth.
This is a plot thing, yeah.
Bridesmaids was great. I like that. Good movie.
I love Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig's my all-time favorite person I want to have. Top 10 people I want to have a lunch with at some point in my life would be pretty
Kristen
fun.
Wiig is on that list.
Absolutely. She's
awesome. No, I'm not hating on it. I like the idea.
Okay. I'm just throwing it out there. Kristen Wiig, if you're listening, I'd love to not in a creepy way. Just
you know what? Let's not even start with lunch. Just be on the podcast first, and then if you like us enough, then you can have lunch.
You made a
with Will.
Patty Jenkins reference, and you were in Wonder Woman, so there's a tie-in to this, and like all.
Hey, we'll
like,
also have Patty
like,
Jenkins here. That sounds like fun. We can talk about what almost happened. That'd be a wild podcast.
Hey, Patty Jenkins, Rogue
Patty
Squadron?
Jenkins
Question mark.
Together to talk about Thor. To do.
Look, we all know that Patty Jenkins loves the Thor pod. Side note: Mjolnir on the hook, amazing.
That like
fantastic.
That was not Eric in his underwear.
It helps him think. Yeah.
I do love that, like, they kept in little things like Hemsworth hanging up the hammer. Like, it's just like, I don't know. Because you're right.
Do a lot more physical comedy with it, right? Where it was things like that aren't like him making a joke. It's just him doing a thing that's funny.
I do love when he's like, Loki died, and Eric's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's like, oh, thank God. Yeah. Oh, who could that be? A Asgardian soldier on the Dark World. That's odd.
What's he doing there?
Maybe we'll find out in the mid-credit scene.
Damn it, Faz. I forgot about that.
Will, it doesn't sound like you forgot about it if you knew what it was the second that I made a mid-credit joke. That could mean anything.
Is that Shazam again? I'm just kidding.
Can you imagine it's Zachary Levi?
Interesting. Feige described this movie at one point as the Empire Strikes Back of the Marvel saga. Or of the Thor saga.
He did, which was a really funny thing to say.
Interesting.
That's why he recently said that Quantumania is probably the best movie they've ever made. And people were like, that means so much coming from Kevin Feige. And I'm like, guys, Kevin Feige will say every movie that is currently coming out is the best thing. Like, he called Dark World Empire. I love Dark World. It's maybe a top 10 MCU movie for me. And I would never say it's anywhere
close. It's not to Empire Strikes Back.
Like, I may watch Empire Strikes Back later on tonight just to see if it compares.
Guys, it's not the second greatest Star Wars.
You know what? For all the Patreon listeners, we're immediately going to listen to Empire right after this, and we will comment on it, and we'll see if it's better or worse. Yeah,
that's for my birthday.
That's Wilmus right there.
Yeah, for Merry Wilmus, we will do a Patreon episode where we do a commentary on a movie.
Wait, I just heard a throwaway comment. A throwaway comment from Ryan. He said the second best Star Wars movie. So Empire's not the best. What's the best?
Are you saying 4 is number 1?
one that Qui-Gon is in. Let me hear. What,
No. I'm not ridiculous enough to say that Phantom Menace is the best Star Wars movie because I don't want to get eviscerated online.
Hey, haven't you heard all the takes I'm
email
putting
to
out there
Ryan
today?
Dog Rose at yahoo.com.
That's not even an email address.
I know.
At Dog Rose.
All right, what's number one Star Wars?
My favorite Star Wars movie is Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, so your favorite's different though than what the best Star Wars movie is. Are you saying?
Sorry. The best Star Wars movie is Revenge of the Sith.
You're so wrong. It's crazy. It hurts me in the heart. Will, what do you think?
If you say Last Jedi, I'm getting on a plane and I'm flying to Canada.
The best Star Wars movie is The Rise of Skywalker.
Screw you, man.
Obviously not. I enjoyed the movie more than most, but
send
I
your
would never
emails to fazguardian at AOL.com.
Fazguardian at fullofshit.net.
I am all the Sith.com.
I like Rise of Skywalker. I might watch that tonight.
Me too. I think it's pretty good. It's
I went in with no expectations and said, you know what? I'm just gonna have fun with this. I'm done with expectations.
It's Star Wars. It doesn't have to be a perfectly written Shakespearean drama. It's just a fun ride. It's a fun couple hours.
Back to the movie.
Meanwhile,
huge
in the dark world.
In the dark world, we have a huge spaceship in the middle of like London. Is this?
Yeah, it's London.
London. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the example where the fight itself is really cool. The location.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right. They were
filming
in London. So it kind of makes sense to do this, but it's weird to make your climax like a budget saver, like we're here anyway, so we'll just do it there, you know?
Yeah.
But also look at how good Thor looks.
The culmination of this movie, I like Malekith's look more because it's darker.
Yeah.
And like he's got the almost the black side of his face and the purplish side of his face.
Yep.
But still, I just
and the lighting is brighter. It's still dark, but you can actually see what's going on, right? Which makes a big difference.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Now, one thing about this fight is that the Ether's powers are very silly here. Like it's the reality stone. He could be doing some really cool stuff, and instead he's just shooting red lasers at Thor.
Right. If
he could zap him to Naboo if he wanted to. It's a reality stone.
He legitimately could. Yeah.
I really feel like if we would have like fully known that this was the reality stone at that time, it'd be like, dude, do cooler shit with it.
Yeah.
Like anything that Thanos does at the beginning of Infinity War with it when they're in nowhere.
Sick shot right there.
Like, imagine Malekith doing that kind of stuff, like what Thanos does to Quill.
Yeah. Now the only counter to that, I guess, would be that Malekith had this weapon as a weapon for so long, and not as an Infinity Stone. And his whole thing was just make everything is like dark again. So maybe super space lasers like that is kind of the end of his imagination. Whereas Thanos makes bubbles. Thanos makes people fall into puzzle pieces. Thanos cuts people in half.
See that like how Thanos uses this Infinity Stone later on, I feel like that's how comic book Malekith would have used it.
Yeah.
But also like at this stage in the MCU where it's again grounded and they're trying to make it seem realistic, like how does Thor win that fight if Malekith's turning Mjolnir into a bunch of feathers? And he has
I don't know. That's
right?
Where you trust a writer to.
Yeah, you know.
Hey,
but again, they wrote this movie in like 3 months because of Patty Jenkins and whatnot, right? Because they didn't have a director and they didn't have a creative crew until right before the end. It's tough. It's the things that hold this movie back are just the reality of filmmaking.
I mean, really, we could have done, and hey, in the future we might do a whole episode on like the production side of these movies, like the development.
Side note, that joke where everybody should be running away, but it's post Avengers and everybody loves the Avengers now. And they're like, no, I'm not leaving. Thor's out there fighting. Fantastic. At the time, people would have thought it was unrealistic, but after a couple of years of the pandemic, you know that people will do stupid stuff like that. No problem.
Right. And now we're back on the dark world.
In Iceland with, 3 hours of daylight.
I just find it weird. Like, now I can't remember. Do they explain why these portals are opening up at certain times?
So the convergence is happening, and basically all these
Right.
little gravity time space portals are converging on that one place in London. So all these places in the universe have these open because it's the convergence, and they're slowly coming closer and closer together to the point where at the height of the convergence, they're all one portal. So you basically right now there's a portal to everywhere in the universe just around that one courtyard in London, and it's going to keep kind of bonking around until eventually it's all one big portal. That's the science,
But
quote
there's no
unquote,
rhyme or
science
reason
behind
as
it.
to why they're popping up where they're popping up
No, it just happens that
outside
portal
of.
is a portal to Jotunheim or wherever they're going.
I do love that at one point Malekith and Thor fall out of the sky onto the tower, and they're sliding down the side of it.
Mhm.
Like this is like a little moment in a fight where I
Or
don't
like
know.
they just tried to nuke Malekith and it just went up into a different planet. Like poor Hogan's planet just got nuked for no reason because
Hogan's like, what the hell, man?
he's like, damn, Midgardians.
And they're fighter jets.
Yeah,
Now we're back on Jotunheim.
Mid-Guardians are the most
Which
troublesome.
looks fantastic and is maybe lit better than Dark World for some reason.
And there's the monster. There's the monster from the first movie.
Frost Beast, love to see it. Like a
Mhm.
giant puppy dog, which Will hates.
They could have
Oh,
really
yeah.
played with this
I
and
would.
done like more of the realms.
Mhm.
I would definitely not draft him.
Yeah, I think the issue they have is at this point again, there's only been like 2 or 3
That
realms
was a good
in
one,
it.
Will.
It's just there's been so little experimentation, right? Like if this movie came out after Guardians, they could have done so much more while still keeping the same vibe, and it probably would have made $1 billion. But it came out before and it had to be a grounded, we aren't gods, we're aliens, right?
Is this Darcy's
Right.
boyfriend? What is going on here? Am I missing something?
Hmm?
This is Darcy's boyfriend.
No, not boyfriend. What does she say?
It's the
She's
intern's
intern.
intern.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And then Darcy gets in her little line where she calls Mjolnir meow meow.
Yeah. This is a great scene here too.
Thor getting on the train.
Yeah,
Yes.
and somebody touching him.
You know, Faz, I agree with you now. How the lady like bumps into his chest.
Yeah.
She's like,
yeah.
whoo, man. Lots of feelings all at once. But I agree with you that this is a very unique like climactic fight scene, because it's not just, hey, let's go to a place and punch a lot.
Yeah, and think about
Right.
like Man of Steel came out at the same time, and it was just in city punching each other 50,000 times for about 40 minutes.
Crash
Right?
fatigue. Like I love Man of Steel, but man, by the end of that movie, I was like, good Lord, crash fatigue. Like, can we
It's
do
like,
something with
Just
this?
hit. Meanwhile, these guys are bonking through things. There's frost beasts. There's like the gravity stuff.
I'm liking this
lightning.
climatic thing. This
Yeah.
is cool. This is
I'll
good.
I'll
I'm
be
also a
honest,
fan
like
of quantum physics. So anyway,
at the end of Man of Steel, I was just like, we get it.
oh gosh,
Mhm.
Like, good grief. I didn't need 40 minutes of them destroying Metropolis a billion different ways.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So now speaking about the science, you can see all the portals to the 9 realms have all converged right above London, and the Aether's going through them to go destroy them and cover them into darkness, right? So those portals were originally like millions of little portals that were popping up because it was the convergence. They all joined together into one big portal per realm, and now they're all above where Malekith is the science magic from your resident Eric Selvig named Faz.
nice.
Eric
And Luthen,
Fazvig.
like Luthen. Come on,
And
Luthen.
listeners,
Let's
I
do-
want you to know I am wearing pants while I'm discussing this because
Good.
I'm not like him. Yeah, I can't pull
He's
off
lying.
a
He's not.
Stellan
He's put up
Skarsgård
a
look.
couple
Yeah.
of times to go to the bathroom because he's had a lot of beer, and he is wearing Canadian briefs with like the Canadian flag on them.
With the little
So-
maple leaves.
Are
Little maple
Canadian
leaves on his
briefs like
ass.
long johns because it's always winter here, or is it like no? Oh, okay,
It's a
okay.
brief with a maple leaf on it.
So people who pay attention to my Instagram account will know I recently did an edit like this that somehow makes me more visible than the actual movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
gosh.
Again, such a cool idea in the ether, right? Like, imagine if they were changing reality constantly back and forth while in this fight, because Thor is inside of it and now can make his own reality warping stuff happen.
Hey, this is before Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. They're
Before Doctor Strange 1, even they had
Yeah.
before Guardians, they hadn't blown open so much. They were stuck to a very rigid set of rules at this point.
Great moment here at the end where he gets to that last like little like spike thing, grabs Mjolnir, and then like blasts Malekith back to his ship, and then they like teleport his body away.
It's again because he can't kill him. He's got like Infinity Stones and stuff. So you just
the thing they said was like, you can't destroy the ether, but Thor says, but I can destroy you.
Yeah.
Which is why the ether survives.
Yeah.
For our credit scene.
Oh well, it survives because Thanos is coming, and he'd be pretty pissed off if there were only 5 Infinity Stones.
That would be a great little
reality stone's pretty important.
Where Thanos goes and harvests the ether from Malekith's dead body. It's like, yikes, that got dark. World. Jane, this is not a great plan. Oh, I forgot what happens here. All right. He drops a friggin' ship on him.
You got to kill him somehow, right? Now, side note, he's not like, he doesn't necessarily have to die here. If Christopher Eccleston wasn't so angry about Marvel and didn't chirp them for years here, they could have brought him back at some point and could have given him a more comic accurate Malekith spin, right?
So, yeah, I mean, that's true. See, what kind of sucks about this movie is like, it feels like the actors, the production, like it just kind of like not a lot of people enjoyed this movie. Not a lot of people enjoyed making this movie. Like,
it is the sequel because we have to make the sequel. Because,
yeah, that's what it was.
Said earlier, Faz, is that's like 100% good description. This is our sequel, and we're gonna go from there. And unless we
and like to Alan Taylor's credit, he had some great ideas, like the much longer fleshing out of Asgard and showing it as a real lived-in city. Like there were things that he wanted to do that just didn't fit with the whole. No. We need 94 minutes, and we need it to be for this cost. We need it to release on this day. I know you've only got 6 months to get it all together, so do it, please, because we are not going to move our release date. We're too early in the universe for that, right?
I love this. Darcy is like, he's going to come back. I mean, last time he's gone for like 2 years, but he'll be back. You know, and that's such a comic trope. It's like you kill somebody off, you go somebody leave. You're like, they're going to bring him back at some point. Don't
like
get too
intern
upset to kill
is
off your
there.
favorite hero, folks. Like they will come back. I'm not sure Scarlet Witch or yeah, she'll probably be back. But Black Widow, Iron Man, probably not Robert Downey Jr. But an iteration of them will be back at some point. Don't get too.
So we're kind of like wrapping up at this point in the movie, but I don't want to get, I don't want to get to like final thoughts just yet. Just something that I was thinking through this was we focused in on so many things we really did like about this movie. And then we focused, kind of secondarily, we focused on things that just like were off about this movie, or things that like other people didn't like about this movie. Mainly it's like Idris Elba not wanting to be on this, not wanting to do this.
Yeah, it seems like every actor hated it. I think
maybe
only Anthony Hopkins
liked
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
And
like Idris didn't like it, Hemsworth didn't like it, Portman didn't like it, Eccleston didn't like it.
It just feels like a movie that like was made despite itself.
Yeah.
And again, if you draw it back, and if you don't compare it to every other movie in the Marvel in the Marvel universe, if you compare it to just other movies, it's a pretty serviceable movie.
Even if you compare it to Marvel, it's just at this point people were expecting every movie to be the best MCU movie that's ever come. Yeah. This one was just a solid MCU movie where if you loved Thor, it was going to be amazing, and if you didn't love Thor, you'd think it was fine. Yeah. And that wasn't good enough because we just had Avengers, and we had the end of the Iron Man saga. And Winter Soldier was coming up, and Guardians was coming up, and it's like it's like, is this the best movie ever? And this one very clearly wasn't. It was just good.
This movie is nestled in between some all-time great superhero movies.
Put this movie where Thor 1 was, and people might say it's the best movie in Phase 1. but they can't do that because that's not where it is.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah, no one's gonna rank the original Thor over Iron Man.
No, but people sometimes rank the original Cap, and some people do rank the original Thor over Iron Man. And I think this one's better than Thor 1 if you get over the fact that Thor 1 was a perfect intro.
I to this day I will still say that Thor 1 is the perfect origin movie.
It's the perfect origin movie, but they spend so much time in New Mexico. New Mexico, man. It's so boring compared to Asgard.
We didn't get enough Asgard in that movie, but credits have rolled. We have had the reveal of Loki being Odin at that point, so some shenanigans have happened.
So before we go any further, guys, what do you think is going to happen in Thor 3?
I don't know.
Malekith is going to be resurrected, and then they're going to have to go at it again.
One thing I want to mention, because we read the Prelude comics, the tie-ins recently. It's pretty cool how foreshadowed Ragnarok was. Yeah. In Thor 1 and Thor 2, there's a few mentions, and in the tie-in comics, there's a lot of mentions for it. Thor 3 was always going to be Ragnarok. Maybe it wouldn't have been the way that Taika made it.
Yeah.
But that's where they were always going to go, and that's pretty cool. That was like from 2010, they knew what they were doing with the character.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, and in Thor comics, everything kind of is either coming after a Ragnarok or leading up to a Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it makes sense that if you were going to do a Thor trilogy, that would be the climactic thing or event. And, you know, however you get there, it kind of just, you know, depends. And maybe, you know, yeah, I'm sure if you had told, you know, Will, Faz, and Ryan to map out their own original Thor trilogy, they would all look different. They'd have some similar elements, but hey, maybe that's an episode right there. But it would look different, but probably a lot of them would end with Ragnarok. But
I think all of them would end if it hadn't already happened in Thor 3. They all would have ended with Ragnarok, the Thor saga in the MCU.
So, guys, let's give
Yost. Christopher Yost is one of the like screenplay writers and big time comic book writer, and has written a lot of different stuff. So it's cool that they had like a comic book you know, writer and kind of veteran on the screenplay writing this out. I think that
guy wrote a lot of TV.
They've been big about that, especially in the early phases, making sure they had a comic writer there too to kind of explain it all.
Here we go. Here's our mid-credit scene.
It's cool because it was directed by James Gunn.
Oh, yeah, right.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought him in to make sure that it fit the vibe he was going for in Guardians.
Oh, Benicio del Toro.
About this.
I love that in the comics, the Elders of the Universe are all these like serious, very impressive guys, and in the MCU, they're just fucking weird.
Yeah,
they're just the weirdest human beings between him and the Grandmaster.
Hey, man, but think if you're this like nigh omnipotent, like unkillable thing, wouldn't you be a little eclectic about it?
It makes perfect sense to me that that's something that gets lost on the page that would exist in the movies, right? Like, would you not be Jeff Goldblum if you had enough time? I think everybody, given enough years of life, would become Jeff Goldblum. I hope that's my dream. I think this is a really cool prop, how they've kept the Aether in like a tiny version of the thing.
Yeah.
We all get silent because it's such a good end credits.
It is. Well, and the thing is, at the time, and I'm sure, you know, someone will look back in hindsight like, I knew what was happening. No, you didn't.
No.
At this point, people thought the Collector
was.
They thought the Collector was the big bad of the MCU. They thought, oh my God, the Collector's going to assemble the Infinity Stones? No. What the fuck?
Yeah. And I think with Phase 4, like the end credit scenes have not delivered like this. Like we stayed for the end credit scenes, and it's like there's not this big tie-in leading to the Infinity Stones and Endgame and Thanos, and like that Phase 4 has been all about like doing its own thing and grief and like moving on. Phase 5 will be different, but like these end credit scenes like were everything. Like you went to the movie, like I'm going to this movie, and if the movie wasn't that great, then at least we have an end credit scene that's going to tie into like the larger universe.
It was a complete stroke of genius to link the movies together with the tangible Infinity Stone rocks. Like the multiverse saga, you can't point to a thing. Eventually, I think in phase 5, it's going to be Kang appearing everywhere
Yeah,
in the background or
Kang
whatever.
appearances.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'm
But
all
like
for
that hasn't happened yet, right? Like there hasn't been a lot of it. And to be fair, like if you think about phase 1, there weren't that many Infinity Stone references, right?
Okay, I have a
Especially
lot of names
at
to
that
read right
time.
now. Fast. I have
Oh
a lot of names.
gosh.
So
Here we
one
go.
name I saw I want to get into is
Smith, Kevin
Charlie Wen.
Smith, Roy Shaw, Julian.
No, Will, please, please. I have to shout out this amazing concept
William,
artist.
some of us are taking our superhero movies seriously.
Assistant light director, Christopher.
Look,
Faz-
so
As you're
Um,
just gonna have to talk out over him.
I have to get in here because
Okay.
Charlie Wen, this is one of the last movies he did. He started Thor. Andy Park
Okay.
worked with him, but Charlie Wen was the head of VizDev at this point, and he's the one who was in charge of making all the Thor characters look the way they did, along with
Yes.
Andy.
Mhm.
So we give Andy a huge amount of credit for
Yeah.
Ragnarok onwards is all him, and he did a lot of stuff at the beginning too. But Charlie Wen
He's
was
listening.
amazing.
We want you on the podcast. We want to hear.
I
you.
would love that. He's also from I think he did God of War.
Ooh.
So put those two things together, and he's incredible. His like everybody go find him on Instagram. I think it's I am Charlie Wen or something like that. And he's incredible. He does a great job. He was a perfect concept artist for this kind of Norse look.
So everybody, go check out all the things we've told you. Go check out. There's a lot of different little threads here.
I think they have
But
to go watch the Star Wars original
I
trilogy.
think we
now.
have to go watch Empire Strikes Back now.
Yeah.
But
I'm watching so much Star Wars tonight.
so guys, let's just do final thoughts on Thor: The Dark World, and then we'll wrap it up, and we'll fly back to the realms from whence we came. Faz, I feel like you're the most amped up, so I'll put you on the clock, and we'll give you your final thoughts on Thor: The Dark World.
All right. So Thor: The Dark World is probably a top 10 or top 15 MCU movie for me. It's a very flawed film compared to some of the top ones up there, but it has all you want in a Thor movie. The costumes are beautiful. The acting is fantastic. The story hasn't the necessary scope involved. It could be funnier. It could be more serious. It's kind of stuck in the middle, and it's burdened by where it was in the MCU in that they couldn't take as many risks and couldn't go as wild as they wanted to. But given what it is an excellent movie. Chris Hemsworth is great. Tom Hiddleston steals the show. Chris Evans steals the show. And really, altogether, I'm quite happy with how it is. I'm sure a lot of you didn't rewatch it for 5-6 years after it came out and just in my head believed that it sucked because that's what everybody was telling me on the internet. And I implore you to give it a chance because it's a perfectly solid Marvel movie. It is good. It's the best Mjolnir and Thor have looked in terms of their outfits for a classic comic look. And I think I'm probably out of time there, but go watch it. 7 to 9 out of 10, depending on how much you like Thor.
Perfect. Will, your final thoughts on your second viewing of Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, second viewing. I don't know if I could say it better than that. I think you're right. Like, it's burdened where it was in the MCU and where it falls. But like, I love it that Endgame pulls that one in because they know they had a little bit of belief that like this has some significance. And I agree, like the sci-fi tropes, the characters, all that they brought back. I really enjoyed loving it a second time. And the spaceships and Thor, all of it.
Did your opinion change, Will, from what you thought it was from when you watched it in 2013? Did
Yeah,
you have one of
it's
those
like
negative views
like,
in your head?
Is it worth a rewatch? Like, there's a lot of content. There's a lot of things out there that where do I spread out my like geek energy, in the world? And so like, am I going to go back and rewatch this? Probably not. But like for Ryan, his birthday, yeah, I'd do anything for Ryan, his birthday. Like that's huge. So like going back and watching this, like some really cool cinematograph, like just the images and the cinematography and the special effects, really, really, really cool. And yeah, like, and that spaceship mowing down pillars.
That's the thing Will's hanging on to.
Yeah, like the sci-fi lasers and Star Wars stuff, like that Star Wars talk. Yeah, I'm gonna lean into that. But really, yeah, that was fun.
I just have a few different things that I enjoyed this. I enjoy this movie. Oh, here's our final end
post-credit scene.
It's Jane eating her shreddy cereal. She hears the
This is
rumble of
actually,
thunder.
interestingly, Natalie Portman was done filming at this point, and she wasn't about to come back for more reshoots because of how poorly they were treating her at this point. So they actually didn't film the kiss with her. Chris Hemsworth's wife wore a wig and her costume and just cheated so it looked like it was her, even though it wasn't. This part right here, it's not even Natalie Portman.
Yeah, it's
just,
it's yeah.
still a good scene.
Yeah. And then the Jotunheim like snow beast is chasing
Yeah.
birds.
I like
So-
it because they were so menacing in the first one, and they're just a puppy dog in the next one.
Yeah. This my final thoughts are this, that this movie gives me a lot of classic Thor vibes. I like they nail Asgard, they nail the aesthetic, they nail the big fight scenes, like they nail the scope, the fantastical nature of Asgard. They nail it truly. I think despite what we've heard and what we've been told about things that were happening behind the scene, I think this movie actually overachieved in terms of what they were put up against and
Definitely.
how much kind of tension there was behind the scenes. So I think this movie overachieves actually, which might sound crazy to people because you've only ever been told to shit on this movie. So I think, yeah, like what Will and Faz were saying, where this movie lands in the greater scope of the MCU matters when you judge this movie. And understanding why this movie was made, how this movie was made, and then seeing what got onto the screen, I mean, you got to take all that into account. I will say, like I said before, like for me, the one big miss in this movie is that Malekith and the Dark Elves were not as memorable and as focused and as important as Loki was in the first movie. Like Loki is, he has just as much of an arc in the first Thor movie as Thor does. So for them to now have a villain that didn't have that emotional weight to him, I don't know, Malekith doesn't really land for me in this movie. But a lot of the movie does. The score is awesome. Like I said, the aesthetic is awesome. The armors, this is my favorite look for Hemsworth as Thor, because it makes me feel like I'm watching a comic book a lot of times. So not to say that I like all the looks that Thor has had, but I think this one is my favorite because it feels very gritty and lived in, and it feels like he's fought a few times in this armor, as opposed
there's
to
a reason they kept it for Ultron, right? There's a reason why they were like, it's so good, we're going to just change the coloring ever so slightly and keep it going, because we think we've nailed it with this look.
So I really enjoy a lot of this movie, and listeners, I hope you have enjoyed this commentary of myself, Will, Faz, the Warriors 3, all together for the Dark World. Whether you love Dark World, whether you hate Dark World, whether you're meh on Dark World,
give it another try.
Faz would implore you to give it another try. Will's gonna go and watch a bunch of Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm inspired. And happy birthday, Ryan. Like, this is
happy birthday,
thank you.
Ryan.
I really do appreciate
this
it.
movie first when you were 12 years old, and I'm glad now that you're 22. I think this is great that you're
I'm just glad you could drink this time, Ryan. That's a big change for you. We're super happy for you, buddy.
Drinking does help with watching movies. So thank you guys. This was a fun little birthday. This is really the only birthday party I have this year. So listeners, thank you for joining our birthday party for myself. But really, just we hope that we provided you a few laughs and maybe some things about Dark World that you didn't know. Hope you enjoyed this. Next week, we are going to be, oh my goodness, we are going to be bringing you our Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Will and I are going to be back for that one. And then in a few weeks, we're going to be back for our year in review with Faz. So we're going to split up the Warriors 3 duties over the next few weeks. Will's got to go off to, fight TIE fighters at Galaxy's Edge. But we hope that you join us again aboard the Bifrost. Until you see us next time aboard the Rainbow Bridge, we encourage you to do one thing, and that is to stay worthy. Ba, 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 ba.